My name is Malcolm Sorrell. I was 19 when the door found me. It didn't start with whispers or ghosts. It started with a box. A box my grandfather left me after he died. Locked, wrapped in military canvas, tucked into the attic like it had been waiting for someone else. He was a decorated vet, always quiet, distant, the kind of man who stared at a wall too long and said nothing. When I finally broke the lock, I expected maybe letters, old photographs, but what I found were books. 6 of them, ancient, bound in leather that didn't feel like any leather I've ever known. The pages were cracked and fragile, but some still smelled like smoke. There were symbols, circles within circles, sigils, diagrams of the human soul dissected like a frog. Most of them were written in Latin, one in something I still can't place. They didn't scare me. They fascinated me. It was the first time in my life I felt like I was holding truth. I think that's when it saw me. Blackmere University was where I thought I could get answers. They have one of the oldest religious studies departments in the country. People come here to become scholars of theology and myth. I came here looking for the parts no one talks about. The banned gospels, the dark gods, the occult orders that shaped entire civilizations and left no trace. I kept my head down. I didn't party. I didn't join clubs. I wasn't there to be liked. But I read. Constantly. I spent most nights in the sub-basement of the library, the one only graduate researchers used. The air always smelled like mildew and ink. It was there, between 2 catalogued volumes on Mithric cults, that I found a book with no title on the spine, just the outline of an eye burned into the leather. When I opened it, something slid out. A single folded note. It said, "You have been seen." No explanation, no signature, but I knew what it meant. I'd read about them, the Acheron Circle, supposedly disbanded in 1904 after a series of vanishings, a secret society tied to the founding families of the university. Whispers said the circle wasn't just academic, it was spiritual, ritualistic, connected to something older than the school, maybe older than the country. I started seeing things after that. At first, it was subtle, shadows that lingered too long, lights flickering only when I was alone. But then came the dreams. The dreams always started the same. I'd be walking through the Blackmere Quad, but no one else would be there. The sky was always a dirty red, like sunset mixed with smoke, and the bell tower rang, but not 12 chimes, 13. Then I'd turn a corner that didn't exist in waking life, a part of campus that felt familiar but wasn't real. And there it was, the door, crimson, wet-looking, breathing. And then I'd wake up, choking on the taste of ash. I started skipping class. I couldn't focus. I couldn't sleep for more than 2 hours without waking in a sweat. Then, one night, I followed one of the shadows. Not metaphorically. I literally saw a shadow cross the far wall of the theology wing while I was locking up a study room. No one was there, but I followed it anyway. It didn't move like a person. It glided, low, slow, almost dragging. It disappeared around a corner where no hallway should have been. I stepped cautiously after it, past dusty portraits of dead faculty and doors bolted shut with rusted chains. It led me to a door I'd never noticed before. A faculty exit with a broken lock and a sign that had long since peeled off. Behind it, a stairwell. The same stairwell. Narrow and spiraling downward, carved from uneven stone that glistened with damp. My hand traced the wall out of instinct, and it came away slick. Every step downward felt colder, heavier, like I was descending through time itself. The deeper I went, the stronger the smell grew. Not just musty or wet. It was layered, stagnant rainwater steeped into porous rock. The tang of rusted copper thickened the back of my throat, and a sickly, sweet rot, like mushrooms left too long in a warm drawer. It didn't just smell like decay, it tasted like it. And at the bottom, the red door, no knob, no hinges. Just a black handprint smeared across its center, and the phrase scratched above it like fingernails in plaster. Acheronia non revertitur. The one who crosses will not return. I didn't open it. Not then. I ran. But when I got back to my dorm that night, a book was waiting on my desk. One I hadn't brought. No library stamp. No barcode. The cover simply read, V. Whitmore, 1873. Inside, the ritual. It was called the Red Rite, a ritual of threshold, initiation. It wasn't a spell, it was a test. The kind of thing the old orders used to use to break the mind open, to see who was worthy of more. The instructions were precise. Light 1 black candle. Add 1 drop of your own blood. Speak the name given to you in dreams. And then... Wait. I should have told someone. I should have reached out. But who was I going to tell? My classmates barely knew I existed. My professors wouldn't believe me. And deep down, I didn't want to be saved. I wanted through. So I did it. In my dorm. At 3:13 a.m., I lit the candle, let the blood drip, and I whispered the name that had been waiting in my throat for days. Abaddon. The candle flared, not high, but wide, casting a sudden sideways shadow that made the corners of my room stretch unnaturally long. The air went still, then cold. Cold like a place that never knew sunlight. Cold that curled around my ribs and squeezed. My mirror cracked, not shattered, just a thin fracture running from the upper corner to the center, as if it were splitting open. And in that reflection, I saw myself. But I wasn't where I should have been. I was behind me, grinning. And I swear to God, I blinked. But the reflection didn't. I didn't sleep after that. I couldn't. Every time I shut my eyes, I felt like I was falling forward into glass. Into that reflection, that thing that wore my face. 2 nights later, I went back to the stairwell, back down into the dark. I didn't think about it this time. My feet moved on their own. The deeper I went, the less the world above seemed to matter. The door was waiting, and this time, it was open. No creak, no groan, no draft of air. Just wide open, as though it had been waiting for me. The room beyond wasn't a room in the normal sense. It didn't feel like it had walls, or space, or even air. It was stone, yes, black, slick with moisture, etched from floor to ceiling with symbols that writhed when I blinked. And in the center, 5 tall mirrors, arranged in a circle, all facing inward, each one identical, except that they didn't show my reflection. They showed versions of me. One stood weeping, face cracked and bleeding. Another held a knife, slick with something dark. A third one had hollow eyes and a mouth stitched shut. One simply stared back with a crooked smile and no pupils. And the last was me. Now, watching. I stepped forward into the circle, and the mirrors trembled. That's when I felt it. Something behind me. Massive, weightless, ancient. I didn't hear it. I sensed it, the way you sense someone staring at you from across a crowded room. Then it spoke. Not aloud, but inside me. A voice that wasn't a voice. You are seen. You are summoned. Step forward, or vanish. So I did. The glass shattered, and everything went black. When I came to, I was lying on the flagstone floor, freezing, soaked in sweat, lungs burning like I'd been holding my breath for hours. The room was empty. The mirrors were gone. The symbols had stopped writhing. And in their place, on the far wall, was a door I hadn't seen before. This one was different, carved from deep oak, banded in iron, and marked with the sigil of the Acheron circle, a triple-keyed serpent biting its own tail. It was open just a crack. Inside, candles flickered. Dozens, maybe hundreds, casting long shadows across cloaked figures, seated in a wide circle. At the center stood a man in crimson robes and a golden mask, not speaking, not moving, just waiting. The moment I stepped inside, the door shut behind me. The man spoke a single word. Welcome. If you're reading this, then maybe there's still time. They let me leave, or at least they let this version of me go. I don't know what I am anymore. I see things I shouldn't. I know things I never studied. I hear names spoken in silence and taste blood in the rain. It wasn't just a ritual. It was a door, and something came through. So if you ever dream of a red door that breathes, don't open it, because it opens both ways.